And we are back with the In Between the Lines podcast. I am Jake, here with Jeff. What's going on, brother?
What's up? What's up? What's up? How was
Well,
your weekend?
well, Michigan football. Michigan football's got me depressed.
All right, man. I'm gonna let you go ahead and go right into it.
Well, I kind of broke it down before. We got quarterback issues. We've got offensive line issues. We've got secondary issues. We've got wide receiver issues. We've got play calling issues. We've got
Oh
tackling
man.
issues.
Jeez.
Other than that, we got a good kicker.
Wow. Yeah.
I was watching it, and I've been saying it for a couple of weeks that if Orgy can't throw the ball and we're just too one dimensional, that the teams are going to be able to see that. And I think that's what Washington did. Washington didn't even worry about him. I think he completed his first 3 passes, but they were all little short dump passes. But then, like, the next 4 were incompletions, including 2 or 3 that got just batted down at the line of scrimmage. But yeah, he went 3 for 8 for 15 yards, I think. And yeah, like I said, that's ridiculous. And then, when they put Tuttle in, there was an instant spark. You can see the energy just kind of change, and it was funny because I was watching it at a buddy's house, and it wasn't even like he took them right down and scored a touchdown, and it wasn't even him throwing the ball. I think Donovan Edwards ended up scoring like a 37-yard touchdown run. It was the mere fact that there was the threat that he could throw the ball. And
Right.
that really changed everything. And then he came down, he led them to a field goal the next drive, and then the very first drive of the second half, I think it was, he scored, came down, scrambled out in the pocket, and threw a nice touchdown pass to the tight end. And we were all over there saying, we finally found our quarterback. We finally found our quarterback. But then, of course, in the fourth quarter, he fumbles the ball, and then he throws an interception on back-to-back possessions and gave up 14 points off those 2 turnovers, and then that was the game. And so we're back into that situation where, I think he might be the answer for the rest of the season at quarterback, but it doesn't mean that he's a strong quarterback. It's just I think he's the best option out of the 3. And I guess that's what's frustrating to me is that when I look at the rest of the schedule, we could lose 5 of those next 6 games. It's possible.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say you took the words right out of my mouth. Tuttle is the guy.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind he's the guy. This is his first start, so I really don't look at those turnovers as a negative. I think he's going to continue to build on what he did this game, and now he's taking the snaps with the first team all week. So I think this is good. I think this is a blessing in disguise. I think he's good enough to beat Michigan State. So, I got to look at the remaining schedule. I don't know if he can beat Illinois.
Well, that's who they have next is Illinois. Then they've got Michigan State. Then they've got Oregon. Then they're at Indiana, Northwest, and then Ohio State. So like I said, Illinois is
They
going to be
got him.
tough. Illinois is going to be tough on the road. I agree. I think they're a better team than Michigan State, but Michigan State's going to come ready to play, and they've got weapons. So, I wouldn't be stunned if they lost that game. I don't think they should lose that game, but I wouldn't be stunned. But Oregon, I'm anxious to see Oregon against Ohio State this week.
Yeah, me too. And I didn't had a gripe with Ohio State the whole season because they've had the softest schedule, and they keep moving up in the rankings or kind of hovering where they are. And I'm just like, man, this is a joke.
Yeah.
They literally have played nobody, absolutely nobody. So and then you got Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, Oregon. I mean, they schedules have been challenging. You know,
Absolutely.
they've been they've been playing all out dogs, man, and Ohio State hasn't. And I don't know how they keep pulling this off, you know, getting these soft schedules like this. So I'm hoping I never go against Big Ten, but I forgot Oregon is in the Big Ten. So I'm pulling
Yeah.
for Oregon this week. I hope
Yeah.
they stomp I hope they stomp their necks, man. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. It's in Oregon. It's the 7:30 game. I'm imagining. I would imagine that game day is going to have to be in Eugene, Oregon for that.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure.
I'm
I'm
excited about
sure.
it. I'm excited about it. I don't know that I'm going to actually. I don't know that I'm actually going to get to watch it live because we're going to a paranormal Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say what. It's a paranormal Cirque du Soleil. You know what
This
that is?
is no, I don't. This is I don't know if this is better or worse than the pig roast thing. Lay it on me. What is it?
Well, it is completely different than the pig roast. I will say that. There's nothing really country about this. Um, so, I mean, do you know what a Cirque du Soleil is? They kind of do them. They have a lot of them in Vegas, but it's like it's a circus, with a bunch of acrobats and things like that. Just really really wild stuff. But this is just kind of a haunted paranormal theme to it because it's in October. It's at the Briarwood Mall. They set up tents, and you'd hate it because you're scared of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, you ain't have to put that out there, but yeah, I don't do nothing scary. Since I mean, since you want to mention it, if it's anything to do with Halloween, anything like that, I ain't messing with it. Ain't nothing changed
Do you
but
do
the
you
date.
remember? Do you remember when we all went and saw Friday the 13th at the movie theater? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember,
I,
man.
I ain't gonna say anything about it, but I remember it.
Yeah, yeah, man. I was scared, bro. I don't like scary movies. How you gonna go to a watch a movie or go to a movie and be scared on purpose? That
Oh
don't
no,
even make sense, man.
I don't know. It's weird because in my older age, actually, some of these movies are kind of creeping me out, like that didn't used to. Like I always watch a bunch of scary movies in October. I just feel like it's like the time to do it. But like I watched a remake of Salem's Lot the other day, which is a vampire movie. Which I mean, to me, those are absolutely 100% fake. There's nothing real about it. But it was kind of creepy. Like I
Yeah,
mean, I remember thinking as I'm watching it at night, I'm like, man, I'm gonna have a hard time sleeping tonight. And
yeah.
then,
The scariest thing I'm gonna watch is Batman. Like that's the scariest I'm going. After
good lord,
Batman, it's a wrap.
oh my god. Well,
Huh?
then we watched another one last night. It was called Talk to Me. Now that was creepy. That was about a séance and spirits haunted. It was wild. You would definitely hate that one.
Talk to me. That's yeah. That just a.
Yeah,
Let's
it was.
move on, man. It's
Was that something moving behind you? What's going on?
no, man. It's getting dark. I don't like talking about this stuff when it started getting dark.
Yeah. Well, like I said, yeah, I think what we were talking about. So I won't be able to watch that game because I'm going to be somewhere. But I'm kind of disappointed about that. I would love to watch it, and I would really love to watch it if, like you said, Oregon stomps on their neck.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a crazy weekend in football this last weekend, though.
It was, man. The Bears on a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah, yeah. And where are they at this week? It's overseas, right?
Yeah, we in London Sunday against the
Jacksonville.
Jaguars. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was excited about that win. It's a lot of talk and comments about, y'all played the Jaguars, and I'm like, yeah, I get it, but it wasn't who we beat; it was how we beat them. It was a very balanced game. with the run and the pass. They were able to move the pocket. They was rolling Caleb out. He had time to throw this week. Now that may be credit to Carolina's defensive line, maybe so, but at the end of the day, he had time to throw, and when he has time to throw, he showed you why he could be dangerous. And I called it before the game. I said he's going to have 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks.
Yeah.
He had 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. I mean, no picks. I'm sorry. 2 touchdowns, no picks. So he should have had the 3. I think something got called back or something. Doomsday caught the 3rd one, and I was just like, man, I would have looked like a genius. But but yeah, he looked good, man. Of course, the defense looked good.
Yeah, it's like we've said in the past, though, too. I mean, yeah, okay, it's Carolina, so what? There's no easy wins in the NFL. I mean, any team can come out and beat any team at any time. So a win is a win, but I mean, they won convincingly. That was I think the impressive part of it. I mean, they did anything they wanted against that team, and that was impressive. It was a win you guys had to have too.
Yeah, because we got Jacksonville this week, and then we go into the bye, and I think after that we got Washington. So it's going to be Jaden Daniels versus Caleb. So that's going to be a big one, I'm sure.
That's an interesting matchup. Yeah, that is an interesting matchup. I mean, who would have thought that Washington would be where they're at right now, where like one of the most exciting games this week is going to be Washington and Baltimore. I would have never guessed that 5 weeks ago, but Daniels looks like the truth, man.
He is. I'm just, oh man, he looks awesome, but he may be the CJ Stroud of this season. I mean, it's still a lot of football to go. We're gonna see what he does moving forward. But when he plays against the Baltimores and the Steelers and stuff like that, I want to see teams like that. I want to see what he does. I don't think he's getting blitzed like that either. I got to go back and look at some highlights, but he's throwing the ball all over the yard right now.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks really good. I mean, he's the clear favorite right now for the Rookie of the Year. But
absolutely.
I've even heard people put him in the MVP race right now, early in the season. But I mean, what's crazy to me is, I mean, I get that Kansas City's 5-0 right now, but if you look at Patrick Mahomes' stats, and like he's the favorite right now to win the MVP, and it's like he's got 6 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions, and his quarterback rating's like at 70 or something.
Average. Like that. I mean, he's playing when you look at the stats, it's average football.
Yeah.
But his ability to extend those plays, man, and the scrambles and stuff like that is just.
Yeah. Like I said, stats don't always matter. I mean, I'll say it over and over again. Stats don't always matter, but I've watched several of his games this year, and I mean, I think he's fantastic, but I think the whole MVP talk for him right now is that's all just media hype type stuff to me. I mean, I don't see it right now. But
yeah. So who is your surprise team in the NFL right now?
It's Washington.
It's Washington? Okay.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Washington is I mean, they look dangerous right now. I mean, they're who else? I'm going to throw Minnesota out there too.
Yeah, that's my surprise team is Minnesota.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold is playing lights out. I didn't think it's hard to judge a player coming from an organization like the Jets.
Right.
He stunk it up in New York. But, sometimes it just takes, a new team, new coaching, for him to, kind of fall in line and just get it when everything clicks. So he was a great talent coming out of college.
Yeah, was he a number 1 overall pick? I mean, if not number 1 overall, he was in top 5 for sure.
Yeah, he was top 5. I can't remember if he was number 1 or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was awesome coming out, man. So I mean, I'm not surprised that he's playing well.
Yeah. Well, and
But
like you said, I mean, everybody is sucking in New York. I mean, I was watching the Pat McAfee show today because they had Aaron Rodgers on there because they just fired Salah, and
yeah,
a lot of people were saying that that's a scapegoat. That if you look at their record last year with who was the quarterback that they had last year, that the young kid.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, after 5 games last year, was 2-3 and had similar stats to what Aaron Rodgers is doing right now. And so it's kind of like, yeah, and they have a good roster from what everybody's saying. So
I think, and I posted this the other day. I think it's time for Aaron Rodgers to hang it up.
yeah,
He just doesn't look the same. I mean, he doesn't look healthy from the Achilles. He can't move like he used to. I mean, he getting delay of games and stuff. Aaron Rodgers, you never seen him make those kind of mistakes in Green Bay.
right.
If anything, he capitalized off of the clock. He was very good with running the clock down. He was very good with catching that 12th man on the field, hurrying up, hiking the ball. And you just don't see that this year. So I think he can still throw, but he's nowhere near mobile like he used to be.
Well, he's old, man. He's
Yeah.
40 now, right?
Yes, yeah. So it's a wrap. He trying to follow in Brett's steps, but when Brett Favre went to the Jets, he went up there and lit it up.
Yeah,
I mean, he broke a record the first year he was there. I think he threw 6 touchdowns in a game.
yeah.
Something he had never done before. Then he moved on to Minnesota and went to the NFC Championship game. I don't see Aaron Rodgers doing anything like that.
No, Aaron Rodgers has quite an ego on him too. So, he's a different kind of cat. Like I said, he's one of those guys too that sometimes I like him, sometimes I can't stand him.
No, I don't like him. I don't like him. I wouldn't even ask for his autograph if I seen him.
Really?
Nah, nope.
Oh, I would ask for his autograph. I'd ask to take a picture with him too.
Nah, I keep on walking.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. Oh, okay.
What don't you like about him?
I just think he just a hole, man. I think he is, and I try not to go personal when it comes to players because I just like to judge them on the field. But like the way he treat his parents and his family and stuff, I'm just like, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
You got to do better than that, man. I just don't like him. It's just some people when you see them right away, you be like, oh, I don't like that cat.
Yeah.
It's just something about him, and he is it. Brett Favre, when he played, because a lot of people be like, oh, you just saying that because he be beating the Bears. Nah. If I seen Brett Favre right now, I ask for his autograph and take a picture with him.
Yeah. It's funny because I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you if it was a Green Bay thing.
No. Nah, I just think he a horrible person.
Yeah.
And speaking of Brett Favre, man, he just got diagnosed with, was it Parkinson's or MS?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, man, one of the GOATs for sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of people think he's a horrible person too because some of this, like, I haven't read too much about it, but some talk about ripping off some charities and things like that. Have you not heard that?
Oh, man. Yeah, I did. I kind of forgot about that until you just brought it up. That's why I'm laughing like, oh, man, I forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah, right. Like I said, he hasn't been convicted of anything like that, and I don't know if it was settled or what, so I don't know what the allegations are, but I do know, I know there was a bunch of hype when they were saying, they vilified Michael Vick and Ray Rice and all these different things, and they're like, nobody hears anything about Brett Favre, and he's ripping off all these charities. So I said, I don't know too much about it, but I do know that there was at least some allegations of that.
I mean, Ray Rice knocked a female out cold in the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
That's ain't no
Yeah, I
coming
know.
back from that,
It's funny
man.
because then you hear people talking about, oh, he's been blackballed. And it's like, well, damn right he's been blackballed. He should be blackballed.
You can't Mike Tyson a chick, man. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I, nah, man. I ain't got no tickets for nobody like that.
Right.
Nah.
Have you been
Uh,
have you been watching any of the preseason basketball?
uh, I haven't watched the game, but I've seen some highlights. Of course, the talk of the town now is LeBron and his son on the court, which I think is another he ha ha joke.
Well, I saw the other day though, like in I think it was that first game that they played together. You know, in the first half, just the first half alone, they combined for 19 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and like 2 block shots. I mean, that was all LeBron except for 1 rebound from Ronnie, but either way, they combined for all that.
Oh man.
I just,
Uh,
I agree. I mean, I get it. If I'm LeBron to get to have my son play, yeah, that's kind of cool. But he's got to understand the hate for it too. I mean, he's got to understand that. I mean, he makes it seem like they're picking on him, and it's like he doesn't deserve to be there. He's only there because of you,
because of you, yeah.
and that's fine. You've got that power, and I all props to him. I mean, everything that it seems like he's a good dad. You know what I mean? There's no negative there. Yeah, it'd be cool to get to play a professional game with my son, with either one of my sons. But you've also got to expect the backlash for that type of thing when you're such a diva to begin with. But like I
Yeah.
said, I don't hate Bronny James. There's nothing that Bronny James has done to make me hate him, but he's got to understand where that's coming from. You know?
He got his son a good paycheck. That's what he did.
Yeah.
I think when LeBron is gone, I could be wrong, but I think you'll agree with me. I don't think Bronny has a future in the NBA. I think he gonna last a couple of years, get paid, and he's probably gonna go on and open up some type of business or media or something, because of his dad. So shout out to LeBron for doing what you did for your son and the family.
Mhm.
I would probably try to do the same thing if I was in his position.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If my son or daughter was any bit of good in sports, I'm gonna push the envelope to get them drafted. So
Yeah, like I said, you can't fault him for doing it, but what the fault is he's such an arrogant guy, and that I mean he's the one that's put a bunch of stuff out there, and then when people react to it, it's like, oh, he's getting picked on, and it's like, no, you're the one that during NBA games last year were tweeting out Bronny's better than several of these people that are playing, and it's like, no, he's not. No, he's not. And I mean, just if he wasn't there, Bronny would not be in the NBA right now. I mean, I'm 100% convinced of that. And then I hear people say, "Oh, no, he's got some unique defensive skills," or "Oh, he's got this," and it's like, no, you're saying that because of LeBron. I mean,
yeah.
JJ Redick said it the other day, and it's like, oh, okay,
Oh my God, another person I can't stand. Man, oh my goodness.
yeah.
I don't
I,
like
I
JJ
don't like
Redick.
I don't like JJ Redick either. I mean every now and then he says some things that I agree with, but most of the time I think the stuff that comes out of his mouth is just absolute garbage. Absolute garbage.
He makes it a point to degrade the generation before him, and
Hmm.
I don't know why. A couple of players do that, but for some reason he just thinks that everybody that was before them was mediocre
Hmm.
or trash or whatever, and that's just like, man, this for you to be an NBA basketball player, it seemed like that you would have more knowledge than what you putting out there.
Right.
So
Right.
what? All right, let's do it. Where do you rank LeBron at among the greats?
Oh, damn. I don't know if I was prepared for that. Um, I put him in the top 10 for sure. Um, but I don't know that I have him in the top five. Um, I mean, to me, definitely number one overall is Michael Jordan. I don't think it's even a close debate for me.
Okay.
Um, One of the things I struggle with though is like Kobe Bryant. Like, so I think Kobe Bryant was a great player, but I have a hard time figuring out where I put him too. I mean, I've heard some people have him at number one and number two, and like the argument is him, Kobe, and Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. Those are the top three, and I don't think I do that. I think my second. Um,
Okay. Well, let's do it this way. This will probably be easier.
okay,
If you had to name your top five, I mean your top starting five. Let's do
my
that.
top starting five. Okay,
Yeah.
my top starting five. I would put. I'm putting Johnson. No, oh, god dang. I would. I want to say no. I'm going to put Magic Johnson at the one. Magic Johnson is my point guard. I'm
Me
going to put.
too.
I'm going to put Michael Jordan as my two. Um, I'm going to put as my center is going to be Shaquille O'Neal. I'm going to put Larry Bird, and I'm going to put Tim Duncan.
Okay. Ours is similar. I got Magic, Jordan, Bird. For my center, I'm gonna put Elijah Wan. I don't think you can go wrong with either one, honestly, Shaq or Elijah Wan. But Elijah Wan, and then for my four, I'm going Charles Barkley.
Yeah, I was going back and forth with that. I
Yeah,
love Charles
yeah,
Barkley.
yeah. He was a beast, man. I mean, only thing you can say about him is that he didn't win a ring, but shoot,
That's because of Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
right, right. So, and I'm a go to Elijah Wan was such a beast under the basket. I mean, his footwork and everything. I mean, he was shaking cats down there like he was a point guard or something, you know. And he swept Shaq. It was a young Shaq, so that's why I'm gonna put him over Shaq.
Yeah,
But I love Shaquille O'Neal, man. That's you know, and I'm going by your rule too. I'm only putting up people that
that
we
you've seen
actually
first.
saw. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's funny? One of my favorite when Shaquille O'Neal came to the scene, I was a huge fan.
Oh
He was
yeah.
he was my favorite player at the time. I got the Orlando Shaquille O'Neal jersey. I think I had his first Reebok shoes, but I was a huge fan of Shaquille O'Neal. But one of my favorite Shaquille O'Neal stories, and I just heard this like within the last year or two, but I remembered as it was going on. So he had a big beef with David Robinson when he started early in his career, and it kind of surprised me because I mean David Robinson always seemed like such a nice guy. And so what I remember back then was they had said that he had said that David Robinson was like he was a fan of David Robinson, and when he was in high school or something like that, they were at some camp, and David Robinson refused to sign an autograph. And so then after that, he had beef with him and vowed that he was going to come in the league and dominate him. And so that's what he did. Every time he played against David Robinson, he beefed on him, right?
Yeah.
And I remember David Robinson's response saying that he didn't recall that, but whatever. A couple of years ago, I heard that Shaq made that whole story up.
What?
That he said that he made the story up that he was such a fan of David Robinson that he had to make something up to make him be able to play against him because he was such a fan of his, and if he couldn't pretend that he hated him, that he thought he would get dominated by him.
Wow.
I thought that was the funniest thing ever. I remember when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god!" I can remember telling this story to people about what a dick David Robinson was and how he must have felt bad for not signing Shaq's stuff. And Shaq made that whole shit up.
Oh man. Give it up for Shaq, man. He's a wonderful storyteller too, man.
Oh, he's
That
great.
was yeah,
He's great.
yeah. I love Shaq.
And I'm gonna miss him and Barkley going back and forth on TNT. I'm gonna miss that because that's
Man,
done with.
what a travesty, man. What, I mean,
Yeah,
God, dog. Why would they break up something that's going so well?
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
them are the two that you look at TNT to watch them. First, it would before Shaq even, joined the team. I would go just to see what Barkley was gonna say because he gonna say something crazy. And when Shaq got on, I mean, it elevated times 10. And
Yep.
they going back and forth arguing with each other, and
Yep. Yeah, it's great.
that was fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss that. I said I don't know what I'm gonna watch now. I mean, it just won't. It won't seem right. I know that.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
love that Charles Barkley will call people out. I love that he
yeah.
calls people out. He has no problem calling people out. And I mean, most of the time, I agree with what he's saying. Most of the time, not always, but most of the time, I agree with what he's saying.
This era is so soft
Hmm.
and sensitive. You say something to criticize their game, and they latch back out and automatically go personal.
Right?
And it's like, man, what really? Why you can't just keep it professional sports? If he say I can't do this, go and look at this game or do this or that. I'm gonna show you that I can do this, or I'm gonna come back the next game and show you that I can do what you saying I can't do, and they just don't have that in them.
Yeah. Well, Michael Jordan's a little petty too. Like him and Barkley used to be best friends, and they're not anymore. Specifically because Barkley criticized him on air.
I'm not gonna defend Michael Jordan on that. He is petty.
Yeah.
He is petty. I mean, for you to just do away with your best friend because of a comment he made, but like Barkley said, I gotta do my job.
Right.
If they ask him about something, I mean, what you want him to lie? And he's Barkley said, he called him and said, "You supposed to be my friend, and you did that, you said that," and it's just like, man, come on.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Do you remember what it was that he had criticized him about? I mean, to me, it wasn't even anything that serious.
That he hadn't did a good job with the Wizards.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, he criticized him as the owner of the Wizards. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that was absolutely true, though. Too. That was the thing.
yeah,
It was true. Wow.
yeah. He said, "Yeah, Michael Jordan hasn't done a good job." It was either the Wizards or the
Bobcats.
Bobcats. It was one of the two.
Yeah,
But
that's why.
he wasn't lying.
No.
Most of the time, great players like that don't make good coaches.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make good, GMs. For some reason, it's the role players that perform best in those positions.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Hey, Mike, okay, you didn't do well. I mean, I know he's competitive and he want to do great in everything he does. I mean, everybody want to do great,
Yeah.
so
They said he was the ultimate competitor at everything you did, whether it was playing checkers in the card room or whatever. He was there to win and win big.
yeah, yeah. And he didn't win big at all during his draft selection sucked.
Mm-hmm.
He just, it was just a piss poor job that he did. But I don't think it's nothing bad about that.
Right.
You didn't, You tried it, it didn't work out, move on to the next thing. I
Yeah, I
think
mean
he's
it.
he
Yeah, it doesn't tarnish his legacy as a basketball player.
not at all.
So
No.
now it's going back earlier to what you'd asked me. Where do you put LeBron on your list of all time greats?
I don't think I have him in my top 5 either. I know people tell me I'm crazy for that, but if you want to go by position, that's a little different. But to me, I can name 5 players better than LeBron James, in my opinion. I don't think he's better ball player than Kobe. I don't think he's a better ball player than Mike, obviously. I don't think he's a better ball player than Larry Bird. You hear the stories now about Larry Bird, man. It's just like, well, I mean, for him to walk on the court and tell you what he's going to do, exactly what he's going to do, and you can't stop it.
And then does it? Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that boy was a monster. They said he was the biggest shit talker ever, and like I said, and it would literally be he would, like you just said, I'm gonna step over there, I'm gonna cross you over twice, and I'm gonna hit a 3 left-handed, and then would do it.
yeah. LeBron ain't got them kind of skills.
No,
LeBron
and
don't even have moves like that. I mean, he's big, fast and all of that, but that don't make you better. That
right,
don't make you a better player.
he's big and he's fast, and he's in an era where you're not allowed to touch him.
That part,
But
you
I
know.
think Dennis Rodman said the same thing. Dennis Rodman was like, he has no moves. He would have been easy to defend. He has no moves.
Yeah,
And and so I mean, I do know I read a stat the other day too, though, that because that's the thing to me, and it's one of those things that I always talk about with you. Like, stats don't mean everything. I mean, it was almost like once he figured out he wasn't going to beat Jordan's titles, then all of a sudden it became, to me, he was stat chasing. And like I
yeah,
said, when you look at all those stats, they're all longevity stats. I mean, it was funny. I mean, and like I said, sometimes Shaq says some ridiculous things. Like I said, I love the guy, but like I said, I remember it was shortly before he broke the Kareem scoring record, and he was like, "Oh, you mean if he breaks the scoring record, he's got to be the best ever?" And I'm like, "Well, wait, did you have Kareem as the best ever?
yeah, right.
Because how does that make him better than you had Michael Jordan as the best ever, but he's already got more points than him?" I mean, it's all longevity stats. I mean, it's the fact that he's played 19, 20, 21 years. Jordan played 14 years, and 2 of those were when he was 40 years old with the Wizards after had already retired twice. I mean,
Right.
if you really want to count it, like I said, I always like to look. Let's take the 12 years and not count the Wizards thing. What he did in 12 years, I mean, what he did in a 6-year period, I mean, you can't even. It's
Yeah.
just there's no comparison at all. It's all longevity stats. Like I said, one of the things they don't talk about when they're talking about those longevity stats. I mean, you know what else he leads the NBA in all time?
Turnovers.
Turnovers.
Yep.
I, I mean, turnovers, missed shots, things like. I mean, he holds a lot of bad records too, and they're not bad because it's longevity. I mean, it's. So like I said,
Yeah.
so to me, those are silly arguments that it drives me crazy when I hear people say that stuff. But the stat that I was getting to anyway is they said for his career he averages 27.1 points per game for his career.
Mm-hmm.
But when P Diddy's at the stadium, he averages 32. That's a real stat. What do you think that means?
Oh, well, he said ain't no party like a Diddy party,
He
baby.
he did say that. He did say that. Like within the last year.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party. So
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Oh man. And did you see the video footage of LeBron dressed up kind of like a female with
Like a
the
sexy
wig and
maid,
everything? Yeah, I'm like,
except he
oh
wasn't
my
sexy.
God,
Yeah.
man, what is this?
Yep. I did see that.
I don't care. The LeBron fans find a way to defend it, and I'm just like, man, I don't care who I'm a fan of. Who, if you do that, nah, man, that's major strikes against you.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah, it was
Nope.
bad.
I'm a, I'm gonna keep it there before I say something that's gonna get me in trouble.
You know what the crazy thing is, though, is, I mean, were you ever a LeBron fan?
When he first came into the league, yeah, as a rookie, those first few seasons in Cleveland,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, man, I said this dude is good. I even went to a playoff game when the Cavs was playing the Pistons, and I got lucky. I came up on some floor seats, so I got a up and close look at LeBron, and I was like, man, I said that's LeBron James right there, and it was crazy because the stars or the players, they look like right at the people that's on the floor, close to the floor, to see who's there. And it
Yeah.
was like he looked right at me, and he was like, "Oh, that ain't nobody." He kept- so I was excited, man. But
Right.
it was just as his career went on, it was just always something that he did that I was like, ah, man, that wasn't cool. You playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. You from Akron, so that's your home. That's your hometown, okay, Cleveland. And you playing for this town. You from there, and you showing up to Cleveland Brown games with Dallas gear on. I just thought that was so disrespectful. That was a slap in the face to the city of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Even if you are a Dallas Cowboy fan, okay, don't do that, man.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was right. That was one thing. Of course, the whole the what is it?
The decision.
The decision.
Yeah.
Cleveland finding out on TV what the rest of the world, and Cleveland don't really have nothing when it comes to sports. So he was it. He was they sports guide, outside of Jim Brown.
Mm-hmm.
He meant everything to that city. And I just really think he took a crap on him.
It was the decision that made me stop liking him. That's what did it for me. It was because, like I said, same thing. I was a fan. I remember when he came in. I mean, I kind of followed him a little bit in high school because he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and they even televised some of the games. And I was like, "Oh, dang, who is this kid?" And then I remember wanting the Pistons to win the draft lottery that year so we could get them, and then I can remember that one playoff series where he single-handedly won that game. He scored like the last 25 points, and like I said, he was a monster, and I was a fan. I liked him. I thought he was the future. And then that whole decision thing, I just thought that was just done in really poor taste. Like I said, and to me, it was that was where I first started seeing the whole ego. Like I said, to me, to do something like that was all about ego. I mean, and so that's when it really started to turn on me. And then from that point on, it seemed like it was always an ego thing, and he would say that he was the best because that's something you never heard Jordan do. You never heard Jordan say that he was the greatest of all time. He didn't have to say it. I mean, everybody else would say it for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it felt like he always wanted everybody. He always wanted to say it, and I mean, he's the one that gave himself the nickname the King. I mean, so there was so much of that. I never like it. I understand somebody being confident and stuff like that. I understand that, and you have to be confident to be a star. But there's a difference between confidence and arrogance and egos and things like that. And I thought that was he was so much about himself. And then I didn't like all the team jumping, the flopping, the whining, and I've heard all kinds of stories that they pay different media outlets to talk good about him. I mean, I've heard that numerous times, or that if you,
FSN, Fox
yeah,
Sports Net, yeah.
yeah, or that if you say negative things about you, then he won't give you any media access and things like that. So I just don't like it. Like I said, he's great. I'll never say that he's not a great player. He's a great player. He's an all time great. There's no doubt about that. Like I said, he's in my top 10 for sure. He's in my top 10. But
Okay.
like I said, to even come close to the status of Jordan, to me, no. And like I said, I kind of same thing. I don't know that I put him better than Kobe.
Nah. And I've watched LeBron be in blowout games. Like, clearly they about to lose, and he's still out there scoring. I said, man, this dude is padding his stats.
Oh, he absolutely is padding the stats.
I mean, this is what he wants. He think that his stats is going to make everybody else disappear.
Right.
And dude, that's not the case. You know, you could probably fool this generation, but you're not fooling basketball savants. You're not.
To me, the most impressive thing about LeBron is the fact that after 20 years, he's still good. To me, that's the biggest impressive thing.
Yeah.
He's still an all-star player. I mean, he's not one of the top 5 in the NBA right now anymore, but he's still an all-star caliber player. He can still score. He can still dominate.
Yeah, he spent millions and millions of dollars on his body every year.
Yeah.
You know, I give him that. He's not had a significant injury to keep him out for a season. You know, he's always had these little knick-knack injuries, you know, missing a game here and there. I definitely give him credit for that. I mean, you can't take that away from him.
They say he spends $1 million a year on his body.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
I do
So
have to interrupt. I have to interrupt you for 1 second. Detroit Tigers just won their second game against Cleveland Indians. Literally just happened.
Oh, wow. Okay.
3-0. They're up 2-1 in that series with Game 4 in Detroit. Wildness. Absolute wildness.
They might be moving on.
Oh, that's so crazy to me. That's so crazy to me. You know, I saw a stat the other day that said, like, 110 games into the season, which is what they were back on August 11th, that after 110 games, and a team that's 10 games out of the wild card position have only gone on to make the playoffs 4 times. It's happened 4 times ever. And all 4 of those teams have went on to win the World Series.
Yeah, the teams like that is dangerous, man. In any sport, when you get hot, towards the end of the season like that. I mean, in the NFL, there's quite a few teams that the wild card won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because you're hot at the right time. Yep, hot at the right time.
Yeah, Green Bay did it when Aaron Rodgers won it. He was the wild card. Pittsburgh won it 1 year as the wild card.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Ravens, the Ray Lewis team, they won it as a wild card. I think they got in at 9-7.
Yeah.
You know, baseball too. You know, it's just you got to be careful with those teams, man. Sometimes it just clicks at the right time.
They always say it's better to be playing good at the end of the season rather than the beginning of the season.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, congratulations to the Tigers, man. I mean, this is already an accomplishment to do what they're doing now. You know, this is not a failure.
Yeah. I don't know if I had said it last week, but did you see that? So their whole roster this year is being paid like $19 million for the whole roster. Like
what?
Yeah, and so like they beat Houston in the opening round of the playoff season. That pitcher they went against in the second game makes more
than the whole Detroit roster. Yeah. Well, you know that's about to change soon.
Oh, absolutely. You know who else makes more than the whole Tigers roster? The Ohio State football team.
Do you agree with this NIL?
I hate it. I hate it. I mean, I'm for the players getting some money and paid. I'm for that, but right now it's just open season, and I mean, I think it's just going to set things up bad. I think it's ruining the game. I said unless they have some type of regulations for it, it's going to ruin the game. Right now, it's just a wild west, and I think the transfer portal and the NIL is killing college football.
Yeah, I agree. And they still had a transfer portal in place. Like I think it should be either or. Like and I'm not even sure, so I'm kind of ignorant to the rules of the NIL and everything. So maybe you can help me out. Let's just use Tuttle for example. He gets $100,000 NIL deal. Can he get in the transfer portal the next season?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who's responsible for that 100 grand?
It depends on who the money's coming from. Like I said, I know. I mean, some schools have their own NIL departments, but I mean, it could be just a company that's saying, "Oh, I'm giving you this," and I
Oh,
guess
so it doesn't always come from the school?
no, there's different things, but what's going on is a lot of the schools now have their own NIL department, so they like have their own business conglomerate that's reaching out and setting some of these things up. But no, that's not the only way that it's done. Like I said, they like I don't know if you had heard Dave Portnoy the other day, the guy from Barstool. You know who he is?
Yeah, I do. I didn't see it though.
So he went to Michigan. He's a big Michigan fan, and I think it was
Okay.
two weeks ago maybe he was like, I'll put up $3 million to get Michigan a quarterback out of the transfer portal. I'll put it up, and I'll do that every year. And so then it was funny because then apparently he actually had a conversation with Sharon Moore. From what I was hearing on a podcast, like said Sharon Moore gave him a name of who he wants, but they were saying Portnoy was like, I don't want to deal with Michigan's NIL department. I want the player's name, and I'm going to talk to him. And so, like I said, that's the thing.
Wow.
There's no, and you know, it doesn't just. I mean, that's the issue with it. That kid, I think it was from Nevada 2 weeks ago, that decided to redshirt because he basically said that they weren't giving him what he was agreed to. I don't know if that was the school. I don't know if it was a different department or what, but that's the kind of thing that's a problem, is that it's so open. I mean,
Why can't Michigan get a 5-star quarterback? What is going on up there where they can't land a good quarterback?
well, they do though. I mean, they have that Jaden Davis. He was promised a red shirt. They've got
Oh
a
yeah, you told me that on the last
Yeah,
episode. Yeah.
they've got a 5-star coming in next year of this Brady Hart, and I want to say they got one coming in class of 28 as well. They've got some coming. The
Okay.
one that they really lost out on is the Bryce Underwood kid. I don't know if you've heard of him. So Bryce Underwood, he goes to Belleville here in Michigan. He's been the number one recruit in the country since he was a sophomore. And I ref football, so I've actually refed him a couple times. He is absolutely legit,
Wow.
100% legit. But so I think it was last year. It was while Harbaugh was still there, but that was the big debate. It was he was either going to go to Michigan or he was going to go to LSU. And my understanding was LSU paid him a ton of money and made promises to the families and stuff like that too. So he ended up going to LSU. I don't know if you knew or not, but like Harbaugh isn't a big proponent of NIL. He's a proponent of players getting paid, but he doesn't do anything with the NIL. And that's one of the things that
Okay.
I had heard was that Michigan didn't have an NIL department. And I've heard several complaints about that, not just from football, but like that's why Hunter Dickinson left, because he ended up leaving and going to Kansas for that senior year because he was going to get $3 million to go to Kansas because Michigan didn't really have an NIL. Now, they said that Sharon Moore is big on the NIL, and he's actually set up an NIL department. So now Michigan has their own NIL collective. It's just they're about 2 years behind some of those bigger schools. But they said Sharon Moore's all for it, but Jim Harbaugh was old school and wasn't into that.
Yeah.
So
we'll and that's what I meant by that. When Harbaugh was there, he never got that guy. I mean, he played around with quarterbacks for a while before.
For McCarthy?
Yeah, man. So I was just, and he a quarterback guy. I'm like, man, why can't he get none of these guys, to Michigan?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What did your picks look like last week, NFL?
9-5 I went.
Okay.
Let me see. I took the Bucks. They lost to Atlanta. And they gave that game away. Of course, I took the Bears. I took the Vikings. I took the Ravens. They almost gave the game away too. And I took the Bills. I didn't see them losing. And I took the Steelers. Okay. I thought the Bills was going to beat the Texans.
I did too. Did you see Josh Allen got knocked out cold? Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
I didn't watch it live, but I'd heard about it because I was watching the score, but they showed the play. So he gets taken down, and as he gets taken down, he's slammed on his head, and he absolutely goes limp. There's no doubt that he's knocked out cold. But he ends up, after a few minutes, gets up and he plays the rest of that game, but he was horrible the rest of the game.
Oh, yeah, so he probably had a concussion.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, if you go back and watch the video, I mean, he, as soon as he hits and rolls over, his whole body goes limp and he's just lying there. I mean, he was knocked out cold.
Wow. I haven't really heard nobody talking about that. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on the highlights where they were talking about it because they were saying how poorly he ended up playing after that because he was probably concussed. But they were talking about it a little on McAfee today, and so they had showed it again. It was like, good Lord, that's actually kind of scary to see how he went limp.
So it's possible that he won't play this week.
I haven't heard that, but you would think that he had to have. I mean, I guess I don't see how he went back in the game without him being checked for the concussion protocols. But I don't know. Who are you liking in this week's games? There's some good ones this week.
Well, we always got to start it off with the Thursday night game, which is a tricky game.
It is a tricky game.
49ers, Seahawks. The 49ers they lost 2 straight. I'm going to pick them to bounce back this week against the Hawks.
Okay. I've got Seattle.
Okay. Of course, I'm going Bears against the Jaguars.
I've got Bears as well. Washington and Baltimore. That's the game I'm looking forward to. Who you got? It's in Baltimore. Baltimore's favored by 8.5.
And I almost want to take the Commanders with the points. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to take the Commanders.
I'm going to go Baltimore.
Okay. Let me see. Browns, Eagles, Cardinals, Packers. Okay. Another good division game. Bucks and Saints.
I'm I'm going to go Bucks. I'm going to go Bucks easily because you saw the Saints quarterback got hurt, right?
I'm going Bucks too.
Yeah.
Chargers, Broncos, Steelers, Raiders, Lions, and Cowboys. Wow.
Detroit easily.
I'm going the Lions as well.
I've got the Lions on a Dan Skipper touchdown.
Bills and Jets. That's the last one.
That's an interesting one. Because obviously the Jets have just fired their head coach, so I don't know. Are they going to be down a little unorganized, or are they going to bounce back and come in motivated? Buffalo is now lost a couple games after I thought that they were the best team in the NFL, and I don't know if Josh Allen has a concussion or not. It's in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Bills.
Oh, this is tough. I'm going to go Bills too.
All right. So we only have
go Bills too.
No, we have two differences, don't we? Okay.
While we on the Jets, do you think they made the right decision in getting rid of Salah?
I don't know. I mean, to me, it kind of feels like a scapegoat. It's tough to get rid of a coach that early in the season. I mean, some of the teams they've lost to are excellent defensive teams. So I don't know. I've heard a rumor that one of the reasons he got fired was because he had a Lebanon sticker or patch on his arm, and over in Europe. I've heard that. They showed a picture of him, and he did. So I don't know if that's true or not, but
I don't know, man. I think they wrong for firing him. I think Aaron Rodgers has something to do with it. This is another dickhead move by Aaron Rodgers. Did you see when Aaron Rodgers pushed him off, last week when he tried to, dap him up and give him a hug after the touchdown and he pushed Salah off?
Did you not see the video I posted on that?
Yeah. I mean, I think Salah was just. I kind of feel bad for him because, the Jets went all in on getting Aaron Rodgers, and he played 4 downs last season, was out for the rest of the season.
Yep.
And here he is stuck with Zach Wilson again.
Yep.
You come into this season, Aaron Rodgers still doesn't look healthy, in my opinion. It's not coming together, and you fire Salah, and that was, y'all game plan was going in on Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
I don't understand how this is his fault. They keep saying this great defense, this great defense, this great defense. The defense is okay. It's not a great. Not from what I've seen. They can play. It's a solid defense, but they keep saying this great defense like it's the '85 Bears or something. They all right. I don't know. How was their run? How was the Jets' run game?
All right, they got that Brees Hall. He's solid. I think they've been underperforming, and I guess you can say that's has something to do with the coach.
Well, we're gonna see on Monday night.
Yeah.
How they look. I'm eager to see what Rodgers looks like. I don't think it's going to be a huge difference. I just don't think he like Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
You know.
Now he disputed that today on the McAfee show. He was basically saying he was caught off surprise that he really respects Salah.
Oh, he's a great liar.
He said that was the whole reason he came to the Jets was because of the confidence that he had in Salah.
Yeah, sure. 100, yeah. Of course. Yeah, he a piece of crap. Aaron Rodgers is he a joke, man. He's at the end of his career. I never, deny his talent because when he was in Green Bay, he did his thing. But Green Bay always just beat up on the Bears. That's the only team they can beat like that. Every time they was close or on the bubble of making the playoffs, it was because they got in because they swept the Bears. Even when they won the Super Bowl, they beat the Bears in the NFC Championship game.
Right.
Another season, they beat us the last game of the season to get into the playoffs. I mean, it's just like, man, they don't beat Detroit like that. They don't beat Minnesota like that.
Yeah.
But, but the Bears used to do the same thing to the Packers, believe it or not. I mean, I think when Dicker was in Chicago, we lost to Green Bay maybe 3 times or something like that the whole time he was there.
Yeah.
So Favre and Aaron beat up on the Bears during their 10 years in Green Bay. And they just took the division lead over the Bears since Rodgers has been there. So that just lets you know how far ahead of Green Bay we were.
Right.
So I think it's gonna turn again. I think we're gonna take control of that rivalry again.
Well, I hope so because I hate Green Bay, so I won't hate to see them do bad.
Yeah, that's great. I don't hate a team, and I think I said this before. I don't hate a team more than Green Bay in all of sports.
Yeah, you have mentioned that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it again throughout the course of the show. I mean, I'm gonna continue to remind everybody how I feel about the Green Bay Packers.
I don't know if you remember in last episode I told you I thought we should do our top 5 football movies. Did you think about that at all?
Oh, I totally forgot, but I think I can do it.
Okay.
Did you put yours together?
I did. You want me to go first while you're thinking about it?
Yeah.
Okay. So at number 5, I have Varsity Blues.
Okay.
Love that movie. Number 4, I have The Longest Yard.
Yeah.
You know what that one is? The prison one?
Yeah.
There's 2 of them. There was the original one with Burt Reynolds that came out a long time ago, and then there was the newer one with Adam Sandler. I like both of them, but I'm gonna go with the original one. Number 3, I've got The Waterboy. I love comedies, so like I said, The Waterboy to me is hilarious. Number 2, I've got Any Given Sunday. And at number 1, I've got Remember the Titans.
Okay. Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I got that as number 5. The Longest Yard, number 4. Waterboy, number 3. Number 2, I got Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
And number 1, I got Any Given Sunday.
Yeah, you told me that was going to be number 1 no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch that one again. I haven't watched it in a while, but I do know it's an excellent movie. I do know it's an excellent movie. There's a couple
Yeah.
other ones that I thought of. Friday Night Lights was definitely one that I was thinking about. I don't know if you remember a movie called The Replacements. That one was a good one. That had Keanu Reeves in it. It was like a bunch of guys that went and replaced some real football players, and it was kind of funny. We Are Marshall's a good one.
Yep. Yep.
Let me see. Blindside's a good one. Jerry Maguire's a good one. So there's I did this same type of thing with golf movies a couple weeks ago, and there ain't a whole lot of good golf movies out there, but
Nah, I couldn't even name one.
there's a lot of good football movies. Lots of good football movies. I think I was look them up. There's like 30 of them that came up, and I was like, damn, every single one of those is good.
Yeah.
Rudy's a good one.
Rudy is good. I haven't seen that in wow.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, it's so many to choose from. But I'm not mad at these 5 at all.
Yeah, I could watch any single one of those anytime it comes on.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. All right. We got to come up with a top 5 something next week.
You want to start diving into some basketball players?
Well, I think we did that already.
Okay. What do you got in mind?
Let me think about that.
Okay.
Let me think about that.
Are you gonna try to surprise me and do it on the day of again?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No. No.
All right. Fair enough.
I think defensive lineman could be a good one.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be a good one.
Yeah. Defensive lineman could be good.
My son Drew, he's a defensive lineman now, so he talks to me about defensive linemen all the time.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It's funny because he's not very big either, which is kind of funny. But he's strong, he's fast. But he
what
likes
grade is he in now?
He's an 8th grader.
Okay.
He's an 8th grader, and then my older one, Quentin, he just played football for the first time ever this year as a sophomore. And so that's kind of wild. He never even played in grade school. I don't even think he played flag football. And not only has he never played, he's never really watched it either. So he's not just learning to play the game. He's learning football. But he's doing good too, and he's loving it. It's kind of finally come to fruition that I can sit there and watch football with my boys, and they'll be talking trash about it. So
does he enjoy playing it?
He loves it. Yeah, he loves it.
Okay, Quentin, that's the one I was thinking about. Yeah, that's the how tall is he, Jake?
Well, he's probably about 5'10" now. He's not as tall. He's not as tall as me. He's skinny. The younger one is a little shorter, but he's stockier. Like I said, Quentin's built more like me, tall and skinny.
Well, he still got a chance to grow a couple of more inches.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He just turned 16, so I think he probably will. He desperately wants to get to 6 foot.
Okay, yeah, because I think I was done growing, man, as a freshie.
Yeah.
I ain't grow another inch after that, man. So
what are you?
Yeah,
now?
but
what are you right now? Are you like what 4'14", 4'15"?
Oh, now you're not far off. I'm about 5'6" on a good day. On a good day, yeah. Yeah. I probably got a little dirt under my feet. It'll get me right at the 5'6".
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So we will talk about defensive linemen next week.
Okay. That'll be an interesting one.
Yeah.
We could do and we can even follow it up with linebackers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Both of them will be awesome.
Yeah, I'll put some thought into that. But hey, I've got golf league tonight.
Okay. Well, you stay on the go, don't you?
Yeah, we do indoor golf league over here. Do you
Okay.
golf? Have you ever golfed?
Man, my swing is horrible.
So is mine. So is mine. That's the thing about golf. Somebody said that golf is just like sex. That you don't have to be good at it to enjoy it.
Well, I mean, I guess you can enjoy sex without being good at it, but I'm good.
All right. I think we'll end it there. I think we're going into the wrong topic. I started that though, didn't I? I
Yep,
started
you
that.
did. I'm a champ, bro.
All right. You got any closing remarks? Non good related?
Nah, man. Hey, continue to tune in. Continue to support us. We on all 5 major platforms. We also on YouTube and Facebook, Instagram. In between the lines, look us up. Give us a like, comment, subscribe. Please don't forget.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Until next time.
All right. Peace.
Peace.